Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to ARD Static Series. So today we will be covering in this video your lecture number 13. So this is on the chapter Agriculture Extension and aspirants, I have already covered a part of this chapter, a very important part of this chapter in previous ARD Static Series. So after watching this video, you can just refer to that video also. Okay? So chalo, let's start our today's video. So first of all, I would like to tell you about this extension, word extension. So basically the word extension is derived from a Latin word. Okay, so basically it is a Latin word which means tension means stretching and X means out. Okay, so basically stretching out. So extension word is a Latin word which means stretching out. Now what we are stretching out here, we will be discussing it later, but for now you have to remember that extension is a Latin word which means stretching out. Clear? Then extension education means that the type of education that is stretched out into the village, fields beyond the limit of schools and colleges. So basically all the research, all the educational activities is done in the schools or in a confined area, in a institute, in a research institute, in a schools, in your colleges, right? But when we are taking this education, when we are taking these knowledge out from the school and providing it to the villagers, providing it to the farmers, that is your extension education. Clear? So basically extension education means the type of education that stretch out into the village and fields beyond the boundaries of your schools or institution or research institutes. Clear? So that is your extension education. That is the meaning of extension education. Clear? Now I will give you the example. See what happens when how a farmer can get aware about the technology, or how a farmer will get aware about the any research, any improvement, any innovation that is being done in the area of agriculture. So through this extension education, all the knowledge from the research institute is taken to the farmers. They are made aware about the technologies, they are made aware about the different kind of innovation that is happening in agriculture field. That is why this is the main bridge between your technology, taking technology from your institute to the farmers field. Clear? Because if we will be developing technology at the institute level, but it is of no use until and unless the farmers can avail it, until and unless the farmers are aware about it, right? So that is why this extension education plays a crucial role in taking the technology, taking all the scientific research from the institute to the farmers field. Clear? So why we are doing so that farmers can be benefited, farmers can become aware about the new technology, new innovation that is happening, and they can apply it to their field and can get good result, good yield, and can get benefit from them, right? So that is why, that is the purpose of your extension education. Now I hope this is clear to you, right? Let's move on to the types of education. Let me tell you about, there are three types of education. So the first is our informal education, second is non-formal, and third is our formal education. And इन तीनों में से ही कहीं हमारा extension education lie करता है. Clear? So first is your informal education. So what is informal? Informal means where we do not have any foundation, where we are not following any rules, but we are learning something. और ऐसी एजुकेशन सिस्टम, एजुकेशन, ऐसी लर्निंग होती कहाँ पे? एट योर हाउस होल्ड लेवल, एट योर वर्क प्लेस, एट योर when you are doing a sport activity, then you are learning something, right? That is your informal, that education is known as informal education. So basically it is a lifelong process of acquiring knowledge, learning from home, work, play, skills, attitude, and insight from daily experience, etc. So basically this is the type of informal education. Okay, so every day you are learning something, every day you are observing something. If you are someone who is learning how to drive, so that is under your informal education, because that you are developing a skill. So that is your that comes under your informal education. Clear? So all the examples are the learning from homes, work, play, etc. So these are the example. So all the learning that you are taking in home, at your work, at your sports, that is all count under your informal education. Clear? Now next is our Formal education. First, let me tell you about the formal education. So basically, these formal educations are done in high institutes, where in schools, in institute, in research institute, in any university, the type of education that is imparted, that is known as your formal education. Clear? So it is very simple because we all have went to the schools, so we know about it, right? So primary, secondary, university, primary school, secondary school, or university, or at a college level, whatever the education is being imparted to you, that is under your formal education. That comes under formal education. Now we have a third type of education system, that is non-formal education. Okay, so basically this is organized systemic education activity outside the formal system, targeting a specific group. So outside your formal education system, outside your schools, outside your university, outside your colleges, this for non-formal education takes place. Okay, and here we are targeting a specific group of people. For example, I am in the university and I have developed some technology. Now that is under the formal education. I am learning something and I am developing something, so that is under formal education. Now my technology will be benefiting the farmers. Okay, so we have to target the group of people that are farmers. So now this education is taken from this research institute and given to the farmers. That type of education, that type of imparting knowledge is known as your non-formal education. Clear? So I think now it is clear to you what is difference between informal, formal and non-formal education. So non-formal education, the example of non-formal education can be your adult education, vocational education, functional literacy, extension education, and so on. So all these can be your example of your non-formal education. Clear? Now let's move on to the concepts of extension education processes. So what are the extension education processes? What are the different steps involved in your extension education? Okay, the very first is your situation and problem. Okay, why we will be imparting any kind of knowledge to a group of people? Because there might be some problem, there might be a situation which we want to tackle, which we want to improve. Right? So first step is situation and problem. So here what we are doing, we are collecting the facts and analyzing the situation to identify problem and available resources within the community. Now the first step is to analyze the situation and then find out the problem. Okay, first what we are doing, we are analyzing the situation, we are finding out the problem, and we are seeing what are the resources that we have. For example, identifying low income due to crop yield. For example, we have identified that the low income among the farmers is due to low crop yield. Clear? So this become a problem. This is a problem. We have identified a problem. Then objective and solution. Next step is objective and solution, which means setting realistic objective in collaboration with the community to address the identified problem. Now what we will do, we will set a realistic objective. So we will set a realistic objective with by discussing this with the community, by discussing with the farmers. Okay, so we cannot promise anything to them. We have to set some realistic objectives that okay, to improve your income we will be doing so and this thing, right? So we will be, the next step will be setting realistic objective. For example, increasing crop yield by 20% within a time frame. They have the low yield, so the objective is to increase their income by 20% within a time frame. For say within a year, we will be increasing their productivity by their crop yield by 20%. Then we have teaching plan of work. So third step is teaching plan of work, choosing relevant content, method and aid to teach community based on identified problem and objective. Now we have identified a problem, we have set a objective. Now what will we do? We will teach them, we will guide them, right? The extension worker will guide them how they can achieve this objective. Clear? So third is teaching plan of work. Now teaching use of high yield variety seed fertilizer application. For example, they have the low crop yield. Now we are teaching them how to use these high yield variety seeds and how to use fertilizer application, right? So that their crop yield can be increased. Then next step is evaluation. After we have done this, then we will assess the extent to which the objective has been achieved. Okay, we will assess to what extent we have achieved this objective. So for example, we do conduct a resurvey indicating that 10% increase in crop yield. After a year we surveyed and it came out that only 10% of yield has increased. Okay, and our target was 20%, right? Then what we will do, we will reconsider again all the plan, all the processes that we have implemented. Then we will review the extension program based on evaluation result and setting new objective and to address deficiencies or new problem. Then we will again re-evaluate the extension program, and then again we will set new objectives. Now, for example, setting objective for water management and credit access. For example, the yield, crop yield depend on various factors. For the 10% increase is shown because there was a lack of water. Okay, there was no irrigation facilities, and they do not have access to credit. So that can be the reason of low crop yield, and only 10% we have achieved. So what we will do, we will reconsider and we will provide solution. Then again, the last step is objective of extension. Okay, the fundamental objective of extension is to develop rural people economically, socially, and culturally culturally through education. So our last objective is we have to develop people. We have to develop rural community in all aspect, be it their social aspect, be in their cultural aspect, or be in their economic aspect. So we have to, the last objective is to develop the rural peoples. So basically increasing socio-economic status of Indian farming community. So if we will try to solve this problem, so however किसी भी तरह से हम उनकी help कर रहे हैं, we are improving the socio-economic status of our Indian farming community. So now I hope these are clear to you. All the steps of education, extension education are clear to you. Clear? Then moving on to the old and new model of agriculture extension system. So we have old model of agriculture extension system and new model. So there is nothing much to discuss about it. So simple thing is that earlier there were a research institute and we have simple extension officers. They used to take technology from the research institute and then distribute among them the farmer. Okay, we don't have any technology, only these extension officers were involved in this process. But in new model, along with the extension officers, now this new model is not a unidirectional. Okay, now it is a bidirectional, means this is done like the old model, as like extension officer are going to the research institute and then imparting this technology to the farmers. Farmers can also reach to this extension officer now, and here research can reach to the extension officer for further parting, and farmers can reach to the extension officer to go to the research institute and tell them about the technology, or research institute can direct contact to the farmers, or farmers can direct contact to the research institute. So now this is the new model and that is the old model. Clear? So there was nothing much to discuss about it. Now, for example, let's move on to the evolution of extension system in Indian agriculture. Now, how this extension system evolved in our Indian agriculture. So first, during the time of Green Revolution era, public extension system played a key role in demonstrating high yielding variety and improving input delivery. So this has increased the area under high yielding variety. So at the time of Green Revolution era, we know that high yielding varieties have played a crucial role in improving our yield, in improving crop yield, in improving, making our country self-sufficient in terms of food grain requirement. So this extension education plays a crucial role there by educating farmers regarding the high yielding variety. Clear? So in late 1970s, the extension system focused on the distribution of agricultural inputs and subsidies. Later in 1970s, now this is agriculture extension focused on distributing of these agricultural inputs and subsidies. Clear? Then the training and visit system was piloted in Rajasthan in 1974. Clear? With the World Bank funding, and later expanded to other states in 1977. And evaluation of training and visit system showed impressive result. However, concerns about the sustainable funding, staff requirement, and staff quality emerged a key issue. Okay, so the other training and visit system was set up in the late 1970. It was first set up in Rajasthan in 1974. Clear? So basically under training and visit program, the farmers are given the vocational training regarding the any technology or any research or any kind of technology or any kind of knowledge is imparted through this training and visit program. So they basically organize special programs for the farmers, and through these programs farmers are made aware about these new technology. Clear? So that is the about in late 90s. That was the scenario in the late 90s. Moving on to the next, that is launch of Krishi Vigyan Kendra. So after training and visit program, there was a launching of Krishi Vigyan Kendra, and the 1970 also witnessed the launch of this KVKs on the farm science center, lab to land programs and operational research programs by ICR. So in 1970s only, ICR set up your KVKs, farm science center, lab to land program and operational research program. So under this lab to land program, your first university was set up, that was Govind Ballabh Pant University of Agriculture and Technology at Pantnagar. Okay. Then KVK were begun by ICR to provide need-based, skill-oriented vocational training to farmers, field-level extension workers, self-employed person. KVKs were meant to bridge the gap between technology developed at research and to the farmers. So basically, these KVKs were also set up to bridge the gap between the research institute and the farmers. So that was the agenda behind establishing these KVKs. That is Krishi Vigyan Kendra. Then privatization in 1990s. So what happened after that? Government reduced spending on these extension education, which weakens the extension sector. But then private organization came into play and they started filling the gap. Okay, so after in 1990s, private sectors also started coming up, and they started filling the gap as the government was reducing the spending. So then what happened next? Introduction of Agriculture Technology Management Agency, that is ATMA. Okay, so ATMA was introduced as a pilot in 2003 in 28 districts. Clear? So aim is to make the extension system demand driven, market oriented and farmers accountable. So the aim was to make the extension system a demand driven, market oriented and farmers accountable. Coordinated activity through farm information and advisory centers. So basically farm information and advisory center was set up, which help to solve the problem according to the demand of the farmers. Okay, the farmers came and they demanded, okay, we have this particular problem and we need the solution of this kind of problem. Then they take this to the research institute, and then the research institute do the work and they provide the solution for the problem. Clear? So that was about the ATMA. Then we have ETIC, that is Agriculture Information Technology Center. In 2000, ICR introduced ETIC in selected ICR institute and state agriculture university to function as single window to disseminate technology developed in university and institute. So basically, ETIC is a single window system that worked as a dissemination of knowledge, dissemination of technology that is being conducted in the research institute. Clear? That was about the ETIC. Then next is emergence of new service provider and institutional arrangements. So private extension agency also came into play. Okay, input agency, agribusiness firms, farmer organization, cooperative financial agencies and consultancy firms. Okay, so all these came into play after that. And next is your agri clinic and agri business center scheme. So this scheme support private sector initiative in extension by providing training and credit to unemployed farm graduate. So this scheme supported private sector, and how through this scheme the your unemployed or any youth or anyone wanted to do something for the farmers, so that person is provided training, that person provided knowledge regarding your agriculture, and they are helped for the up their startup, or if they have any business idea for that, right? So that was about agri clinic and agri business center. Now that was all about the today's lecture. Now let us discuss the questions. The very first question is, which of the following is the type of education that is stretched out into the villages and fields beyond the limit of schools and colleges? Very simple, we were discussing all about it, and that is your extension education. Clear? Next question is, the training and visit system was piloted in which of the following state in 1974 with World Bank funding and later expanded to other states in 1977. So training and visit program was first piloted in Rajasthan. So right answer here will be Rajasthan. Clear? Then our Agriculture Technology Management Agency was introduced as a pilot in how many district? So it was introduced in 28 district. Okay, we have discussed this. It was introduced in 28 districts. Then the next question says, which of the following is not the step of extension education? So the first is situation and problem. Yes, this is the step. Then objective. Yes, objective is a step. Then teaching plan of work, evaluation is also a step. So answer will be none of the above. Okay, so all of these are the steps of extension education. Then next question is, which of the following is the component of old agriculture extension process? So in old agriculture extension process, we have farmers, we have extension officer and research institute, right? So right answer will be all of the above. So right answer here is all of the above. Then the last question is the practice question. So basically this is a practice question. This is a practice question for you and you have to solve it, and do let me know the answer of this question in the comment box. So the question is, the word extension is derived from dash. You have to tell me the word extension is derived from which language, and your options are given and you have to solve this question, and do let me know the answer of this question in the comment box. So that was all for this lecture. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you're new to our channel, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also if you want to download the PDF of this lecture, you can join us on our Telegram channel. So that was all. I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you so much.